So, OBS kind of stopped midway. First of all, we will be reacting to the power of spin. Is he going to spin that banana? Okay. Okay. He spun. Oh my goodness. He's too powerful. He's too powerful. I need to... He's too powerful. He's too damn powerful. He needs to be stopped. He needs to be stopped. Falco, Bulgaria. Oh my goodness. Oh. Falco of Bulgaria. I know you may not be in this call, but I hereby declare you too powerful to be alive. You have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so this is actually Nathan's lightsaber. He left it at my house after he went over to mine for like a sleepover one day. And he hasn't come back, and I am slightly sick, so, or maybe I shouldn't be playing around with this lightsaber, but I've been playing around with it too much, so too late to go back. Gosh. Now, unfortunately...
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we are officially in 2023, the very first video of 2023. I feel all cool and mysterious. I don't know why I said that, but it's a brand new year, which means brand new content, and I have some amazing things planned for you guys this year, and I want to share even more stuff with you. But first, we are going to wait until we hit 200,000 subscribers for the big special showcase of things that I want to show you guys. I'll give more information about it as we get closer, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see that video and more information about the channel and an updated version of Nintendo Land. But today's video is about something unique, something I've thought about for a very long time. And I think about Nintendo games that I would love to see. Something else that I would love Nintendo to do to make me just drop my jaw. And one thing that I think would be amazing,
I kind of read that as
is a Mario Kart Maker.
Niniodo Land.
You weren't expecting that, were you? So I guess the main question is, how is this all going to work? How is a Mario Maker, Mario Kart Edition, Mario Kart Maker, whatever you want to call it, actually going to come into fruition? Well, I'm going to break it down for you category by category as if this is a Mario Maker Direct itself, and let me tell you how this would work out. First off, we have styles. Now, these are all based off of past Mario Kart games, but I didn't use all of them because I felt like that would be overkill, since there's like 8, now even 9 games with Tour. It's a little too many. So first I want to start off with Super Mario Kart. And with Super Mario Kart, this will be your first style you work with, kind of like the Super Mario Bros. 1 style. This track is really just going to be in that classic pixelated style where it just kind of looks retro. And this one would really just be used for basic turns, just putting down some sand off the road and just a basic track overall. Next up, we have Mario Kart Super Circuit from the GBA. This will be more detailed backgrounds and colors, and you'll have more objects to work with. You can have the signature little hop they do before a drift, and you'll also have that really cool hand-drawn art style that this game has. I could very well see Mario Kart 64 being its separate theme as we enter kind of the 3D era, but at the same time, I just want to add it here as the very next track. Lots of the objects you now place down can be in 3D. You'll have walls and tunnels that you can go under and giant hills to jump off of, but you'll also be able to kind of add turns and bends in different ways the path moves. Instead of just one flat surface, you can now make it go down, make it go up, make it bend towards the left a little bit, and obviously the characters have a little bit of a drift now, which works a lot different than the past games. Now this last one will probably for sure be its own separate theme, just like Mario 3D World was in Mario Maker 2. Now, I combined Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Kart 8 for this final one because they all have very similar mechanics, especially now with the DLC of Mario Kart 8 having half-pipe jumps the same way Mario Kart Wii did. But you'll have boost pads to blast off of, ramps to do tricks on, you can even have glider sections where you put down very specific glider ramps, and you can even go underwater with underwater track sections. And of course, for the Mario Kart 8 style as well, you can have zero grav sections, which means you can have your course bend and corkscrew all you want as long as you set the zero grav wheel section before you go over that area. So I really had to leave out Mario Kart Double Dash, and I left out Mario Kart DS and some others as well because, you know, they don't have a very specific style that needs to be replicated. But Mario Kart Double Dash, because it's just going to be so difficult to implement this game in Mario Maker because it's so different than the rest of the Mario Karts. You have two characters in one extra large cart, and you can work with the carts that are already existing for the other tracks as well. This would kind of just bounce off each other and not work right. So I'm sorry guys, I want to add this. Maybe there's a separate game mode altogether for this, and you know, we do get it somehow, but I just don't see Double Dash being included in really anything anymore. That's why it's just never returned so far. I don't know, it's just its own weird wacky thing they decided to do a long time ago on the GameCube. I just don't think it's going to work here. Next up, we have themes. Now, these are going to be kind of consistent with Mario Maker, so I'm just going to blast through them and what they would look like and give you guys short examples. So we will have a grass/plain theme. Most circuits are kind of based off of this already, like Mario Circuit, Peach Circuit, or Peach's Castle, or something like that. Basic theme with basic track parts, flowers, trees, little rocks that you can place down. Very simple. Next up, you have sky or cloudy tracks based on, obviously, tracks being floating in the sky or placing them on clouds. These will be very similar to Sky Garden or even Cloud Top Cruise, where they're just up there in the sky on the cloud barrier. Also, maybe see them allowing you to place like airships or floating blocks that move up and down slowly like Mario Maker's does. That would be really cool for the sky theme. The underground section just takes you underground like a cave area, very similar to Piranha Plant Slide. And you can also be filled with tons of rocks, hills, and caves like Choco Mountain as well. You can have a forest/jungle, which covers the area in trees, and you can place down a lot of trees on the track as well, making it kind of a maze to get through. You can also have poison lakes and poison rivers that are kind of below the track, or maybe you can get bumped off and fall into them in order to get respawned by Lakitu. You can have an underwater/beach area. You don't have to always fill the entire track with just water. You can also have like little beach sections where you go up on the pier or maybe up on an above section for a little bit, but most of the level in general is going to be covered in water, which probably means there's going to have to be some underwater sections in the old styles, or maybe they just completely cut those out of the old styles, and instead of underwater sections, there's just water around you that you can fall in and have to get respawned. You can also have a haunted house or haunted mansion, just like the Twisted Mansion from Mario Kart 8, where maybe you can put down mansion interior objects like doors or chairs or furniture, and maybe you can also design the track to be either indoor or outdoor, and maybe that's a specific course part. We obviously need to have a desert, just like Dry Desert, Dry Ruins, with all different deserts we've had in the past. I don't like deserts that much, so it is what it is. You can have lots of hills, pyramids in the background, and rocks you can place down, and obviously deep sand off the track, so if you you get into that sand, you're going to get stuck a lot. But if you have a desert, you have to have a snow area, just like Sherbert Land, where you can place ice roads, which makes players slip around a lot. And you can put down ice blocks or objects such as snowmen. And the last two are just straight up obvious ones. You have to have a Bowser's Castle. Once again, maybe you can choose interior or the exterior of the castle, but you'll place down giant lava lakes and also giant Bowser statues everywhere that maybe can breathe fire. And the last theme we could have is Rainbow Road, where you're just up in space or in the night sky with stars surrounding you, and you can take the road wherever you want, of course, within that open space confinement. And right there we have 10 themes, obviously matching that of Mario Maker 2, so that works perfectly. So as far as track design in the actual editor itself, like I said before, you will be making a track in any direction that you want it to go, but within a confined area. Of course, you can't just like make a gigantic track that never ends. It's got like a confined box that you can work in. The modern Mario Kart tracks will have bigger areas, however, because they just take up more space in general because of the track layouts, the ramps, and even the gliding sections. You're going to need a bigger area to work with. You can decide if you want a lap-based track or more of a longer checkpoint-based one as well, like Mario Maker 2 vertical levels or kind of straight-up horizontal levels. You will be able to make the level more narrow and vertical and just far out, or obviously more wide and boxed in. 2D tracks can have tight bends and little bumps in the road, maybe even some tunnels and walls. You can also make branching paths as well if you want to have 2 different ways, 3 different ways, 5 different ways like Yoshi's Valley. It's completely up to you. And for the 3D modern tracks, you can have more options. You can have ramps, gliding sections, also caves, tunnels to enter, and zero gravity sections where the road can even corkscrew and bend upside down in weird ways. You can also create more hills and slopes here. I'm sure the actual building process of putting the tracks together is going to be very easy, just clicking pieces together, or maybe you can freehand draw in handheld mode on the screen and kind of just draw your own path. I think it would work really well and just add stuff to the paths that you already created afterwards, like ramps or roads. And then if you want to make branching paths, I'm sure that there's different pieces that are specific for this that can like branch out that you place down in order to even start that. Nintendo always is really good with having the right objects and right mechanics that you need, and I think it's going to work out pretty well if this ever actually happened. Also, if you're not subscribed, King Goomba is going to come chase you down and step on you in your dreams and in your nightmares. I'm sorry, but I just had to put it out there. And the same thing with this category, I just want to run through some enemies that could actually appear in these levels and things that you could put down as obstacles as well. So straight up, we have Goombas. Obviously, we have them in the game. They walk back and forth from side to side. You can place them anywhere. You can even place them on top of each other to make them stacked for the different gliding sections as well to hit people out of the air. You could have paratroopers that slowly float up and down on the track. Right now, they're just a background thing. It'd be really cool to see them kind of just go up and down. You have to go underneath them as they're up in the air, or go around them if they're down on the ground. Also, swoopers could return. The bats that kind of fly into you and bump you around, you can maybe place them in one specific area of the track where they'll always fly through. You can place down piranha plants where paths divide, or you can actually change them for conch doors from Mario 3D World or chain chomps, and they all work the same way. When you get near them, they'll peck, they'll bite, or they'll come to try to attack you within that radius. You also have thwomps or womps that fall down after a certain amount of time, or maybe just if you get close to them, they'll start to drop, meaning that you can maybe make it fall on the person behind you or something like that. You can have Cheep Cheeps or Sidestepper crabs return once again. The Cheep Cheeps kind of just jump over the main piece of land or maybe swim back and forth underwater, and then we have the crabs that just kind of walk back and forth in the water and back out of the water again. Unagis can be enemies as well. They actually are in the Dolphin Shoals stage, but more as like a platform. It'd be really cool to see them actually come out of holes that you get to actually move out of the way before they chomp at you at the right time. Pokies can be included, obviously, where they'll just bend over as the racers get close to them, and they'll obviously lose some segments when getting struck. And you could even have snow Pokies for the snow areas. Then one of the last enemies that we know about right now, of course, I'm not getting every single last one, but we do have the Monty Moles that kind of dig through the dirt and pop up. And you can draw the path that they dig through and go back and forth in one area, and then just keep popping up on a random timer. But here's some extra enemies you can add. You can have Bitty Buds. You can choose how many walk in the line. You can even put little gaps in the line that they walk in to make racers have to get through. This video is brought to you by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. And
Barnabas Jobby and Happy New Year! And to bring it in, I'm looking at the top 10 figures that I reviewed in 2022. I know I said I was gonna die for a few weeks, and admittedly I do sound kinda sick. But I just got some ideas and got some sponsors to plug. Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Experience Japan from the comfort of your home with Tokyo Treat. A monthly Japanese subscription box with a and Sakura Japanese edition every month. These are excitement of the new year. And Spy Family Anya Cat Strawberry Chocolate Cake, Fanta Premium Pear, and even Spy Family Anya Candy. Look at that, a show that I actually watch. Yeah. Con. Wrong show.
Oh, it's Megapause, the guy who did the Omori one.
And Sakura Co's theme for this month is new high quality box Yokai. Again, my kitchenware habit with a nice soothing shot. If only I have a problem. Kanpai. And if you're confused as to what any of this stuff is, links. Description buttons. Party Gundams. And on that note, watch my new Gundam review. Even made a new song and everything. And if you haven't watched it, never ask for a Gundam review ever again. So without further ado, I think my stuffy nose is gonna make it easier to do this voice. Number 10. The Lego Optimus Prime. While the completed model isn't the best compared to all the other figures I've taken a look at, it was such a fun build that it made it all worth it. And it's not like the completed model was horrible. Really fun and featured a completely parts forming free transformation. 99% parts forming free. Number 9. The Unique Toys Nero. Unique Toys worked their third-party witchcraft once again with this figure that featured a brilliant transformation while maintaining a screen-accurate robot mode and vehicle mode. But as much as I love the transformation, the feel of the figure, the posability, it doesn't change the fact that the fundamental design absolutely sucks. And it's not really Unique Toys' fault, not their fault that they're Michael Bay fans. Actually, it is completely their fault. Fuck off. Number 8. The Hiya Toys Hiya Toys Godzilla. I had to get one Godzilla figure on here or else I wouldn't have heard the end of it. And because I actually really like this figure. The beautiful love child of SH Monster Arts and NECA, featuring a highly detailed paint sculpt and a decent range of articulation. Not without its minor issues. This one wasn't one of your favorite reviews, seeing as it's an original property, but the Archcore Frostlight was one of my favorite figures. Since I figures, third party or otherwise. Might take a look at its full combination mode, since I read that up. Yes, G1 probably expected this one to be on here. The Magic Square Light of Peace. Best G1 Optimus Prime figure that I own, but the reason it's not on my top 5 was the lack of weight. Spending more time with this ability is top 5 list. Speaking of which, number 5. The magnificent NECA MMO1. A borderline perfect representation of the best live-action Optimus Prime design, which they changed for some reason. What the f***? Best live-action Optimus Prime design, which they changed for some reason. What the f***? This figure is great. Transformation was a bit complex, but not mind-numbing, and both modes look great. So until the Toy Lab Dark Knight comes up...
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
It will never come out. This is the best live-action Bumblebee Optimus Prime toy ever. Get that non-transforming shit out of here. Number 4. This one doubles as one of my favorite reviews of the year. The Transart Transmetal Megatron. An X from the original toy that just tickles my nostalgia in the best way. Both modes are fantastic, but if it weren't for that huge chunk of parts forming, it would have been perfect. And not to tickle my own butthole, a great Jobby video. Watch it if you haven't. David K is waiting.
Jobby the Hog, you absolute homunculus.
And now for my top 3, which, spoilers, are the only 3 5 out of 5s that I gave throughout the year. The question is, what order should they be in? This was harder than I thought. Number 3, the Monocrat Mega Tank. Just a solid figure all around. This is a strangely not what I acoustic wave. Whole of a still. And it Hara's got so compliments.
And I believe I know what the first one is.
Also, huge fan of by admittedly. The Degenerator, and one that has the perfect blend of original mode. Decent to just the robot transfer. How can it care? So, Gundam video. Got my face. Don't drink and run.
I would have assumed. I'm so surprised that the auto-transforming Robo-Optimus Prime is not on that list whatsoever. Nice. Nice. Okay.
And to Optimus Prime. And I think up it as an ads come out, kind of the same. I do like the more streams you can easily keep their packaging. A less authentic transformer party in this one. And how things are. As you can see, these wheels at the side giving us paint. Nice. You hit it all out here. You got
I want to just see how like
those two down there. That's down, so don't pop. Shut up. So there. This one will untab. Bring the arms down.
I want to know.
Like so. Then I bring everything kind of up at this point. Then from there, you're going to rotate the waist around. When you do that, you're going to bring the
I'm mostly wondering,
that's
like,
really gotta have the head, and you're done.
I hate our Spark Prime's head.
Messed up. Give me a second. Can move on its own, as you can see. And then from there, you're gonna bring this back up. There are two tabs. One's right here, one's right there.
Part
goes in that part right there. Does have a little backpack, but that's okay. You're gonna bring his arms.
Now.
What's up, people? Bit since so we got a whole year ahead of us, a whole year of growing, a whole year of Transformers content, a whole year of getting ready for Rise of the Beast, and so I'm just working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes to improve the content. Yeah, I've been a little bit busy, but we are back, and today we got a lot of Rise of the Beast content. But I'm going to be footage extended from movie theaters that shows two scenes, details, and fight scenes, and like it gives us a lot of context to scenes. So I'm gonna get into that right now. And get through it. Extended movie theater footage we have been getting, and first we got a little bit of extended footage from an ad, but recently we got some movie theaters just recorded trailer footage in the movie theater. And it's the same trailer, it just has a lot more footage, and it cuts some footage out to add the new footage. Like it cuts out Mirage using his G1 powers. All he does is pseudo transform, and then he dips away from the cops, and that's it. It seems like we get a couple more seconds of Cheetor running next to Bumblebee, which is sick, but it doesn't give any more extra. But this is the first like really different piece of footage that we get in this trailer, which is Airazor shooting the fire at the bridge. It extends, and we get a better look at Airazor. You can see the bottom of her more. So good in the robot mode. You can see all the details on her. She looks like the entire tells me to go in the same battle trap and RC, but doesn't want the Terracons to catch up or follow, or so that the power is primal. But the chase scene, Scourge falls, and we get a much longer extended clip where Scourge lands. Evidently it is Scourge. He flips, and that driller type thing I was talking about where it's done. Then I'm transforming, which is sick, so cool. And then we also see the Terracons landing, which I can notice smoke here, which I didn't notice before. So I don't know if that's an addition in them improving the CGI.
It could have been like
but in
the
the
lighting of
original
the
trailer,
theater,
I did
because
not
contrast when you record a screen, it's like the contrast often might go higher.
notice smoke
something.
from the
Or that's
Terracons landing. But
that's just a
here
theory.
is what I really want to talk
Like if
about
you look
regarding this
here,
footage.
you look at the
We get a
color
much
coding,
better
there's a
look
bit more
at
contrast,
Prime
it's a bit
pulling out his
brighter,
gun.
so you might see more
and
details.
At first, when I first saw this in the trailer, I was like, "Ooh, that's so sick." What it looked like was it was part of the final battle, or maybe where Cheetor and Bumblebee were running and driving next to each other. But you can actually see that Optimus Prime is on a road. So we basically have a confirmed scene here. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So Optimus is trying to shoot Scourge. Prime and Scourge both fall down. He keeps up as keeps trying to escape Nightbird, and then Prime gets up, pulls out his gun, and then we're gonna see a sick battle between Scourge and Optimus Prime.
Give him return the Ion Blaster.
I know that's such a small detail, but to be able to put this together and be like, Scourge and Prime are about to fight. You've seen a good Bumblebee. That's what I'm leaked. I wish, and then I don't leak.
Bro, I swear we could do the, you know, the dream, the freaking dream hashtag. We could do hashtag put the mask back on to Optimus Prime. Holy crap. Fatty.
Sherman, I've got to get you out of here before you touch yourself.
Complete waste of time. So let's get Penny and go.
You see what I mean?
How do you know, Sherman? How do you know?
He told me.
Who told you?
George Washington.
Children are not the machines, Peabody. Believe me, I tried to build one.
No, Sherman, I'll never let that happen.
President coming to dinner again?
No.
Who dares to insult me with this man?
You were expecting Downward Dog, perhaps?
Why did I?
Combined in order to reconcile.
Oi, again with the pledge. Why did I ever move to Egypt?
I have to tell you, Peabody, where my daughter is concerned, nothing is more important than yellow. Sure, I'll take a survey.
Yeah, Mr. Peabody. Turns out I'm not a complete and total loser after all.
I did not see that coming.
So you eat human food, huh?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Because you're a dog.
No, thank you.
Stop waving your hands around! It's exactly what you all just said! Except the total opposite!
Is everyone amused?
I'd hold off filing it just yet.
What kind of cake?
I lost her in ancient Egypt.
And I got engaged to King Tut.
So I came back and got you.
Then we ran out of gas.
In Florence.
Went into a black hole.
And then you died in ancient Troy.
Bad, you're going to lose your deposit!
It's got my daughter in that giant space apple.
It's not like I want to hold her hand, or go to the park, or watch her while she's brushing her hair.
Now, I did substitute an alarm for this, and it says Dark of the Moon. It's time for the final... Okay! Spoilers! Oh, yeah. we've reached the end game of this. After this is the PowerPoint night. Now, first of all, I'm gonna ask a few people to join. Now, after long last, let the final stretch begin.